Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Red Rock Chess. What I'm going to be teaching you guys today took me 5 years to learn, and I'm going to teach it to you less than 10 minutes. If you guys are new, please make sure to subscribe. You can change your mind at any time. Let's get right into the video. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing different scenarios to let you guys kind of develop with me, and I can explain my thought process as if I were in your guys' shoes. This video is targeted for newer players to chess so that you guys can develop and learn how to play. In this situation, you will see that black has an advantageous position with their queen and many more pawns. It is white to move, and what I want you guys to notice is that we're in check. The only available move for us is either to move our king or to take the queen with ours. And the obvious move that you want to do is capture the queen with ours. And these puzzles get progressively harder so that you guys can develop with me on how you guys would play. So in this situation, these pawns right here are attacking, and I can't take this right here because then it gets recaptured. We already see that I have a bishop and a queen while the opponent has 2 rooks and a queen. This white side of the board is very advantageous for white. So what we can be looking at though is that this pawn right here is particularly weak because our bishop and our queen connect to that square. So we're going to be taking that right there. And as we get progressively harder, please make sure to stay tuned because the best part is at the end, so you don't want to miss it. Right here, after white takes right here, they are threatening our queen, and we don't have too bad of a position, but the best thing about it is that this pawn right here is protecting our knight, but the more important thing is that it connects right there, and this pawn isn't open, so the king cannot escape. So what we can do is just deliver checkmate. And in this situation, it's going to be very similar to the last puzzle, except for the fact that we can just pick up a free knight. You can see that this knight right here was in a great square, and it had no reason to be moving. The opponent must have just really gotten scared. A good move that he could have made was to prevent that was moving the pawn to g3, but instead he blunders, and what you guys should notice is to pick up if your pieces can see. If your queen can see another piece, try and see if anything is protecting that. In this case, there is nothing protecting that, so it is just a free piece. And right here, what I do want you guys to see and envision is a lot of people don't realize that if they were just to sacrifice all their pieces, most of the time it's in vain because black or your opponent, in most of these cases, can just recapture and win material. But in this case, it's actually very good because right here, our bishop is trapping the king. It cannot leave. The best thing that black could do is honestly just try and block that off, but it's too late because once we take right here, there's nothing stopping him because this rook right here will cut off the back rank and it cannot escape to this square. So that is just checkmate right there. This is another great scenario if you guys have learned about Scholar's Mate. It's a very simple opening with the bishop and the queen to kind of do it. And a lot of the time when you're right here, the best move is for, say this wasn't here, to start applying pressure. But because our bishop and our queen connect on the diagonal, that is just checkmate. Right here, his pawns are doubled. He's going to be looking at trying to do this eventually. We can see that there is no escape for the king to come out, so that is just a simple back rank checkmate. You guys should be familiar with those. If you guys aren't, please make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you guys can learn more about back rank and other chess videos. So this right here is a very powerful thing where the bishop can connect with the queen to go to any square. Right now, we could see that this pawn is not being defended by anything but the king, and the queen would cut off all the squares while delivering check, which does make that checkmate. So that's a great tactic right there. So what I do want you to see is that we have equal material on the board. Right here, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns, and we currently have 4. So white is currently winning. But I do, guys, want you to notice that this bishop right here does attack some pretty good parts of the board. Primarily, it has a free rook, so that's what we're going to be taking, and that's how it is. Right here, there's actually just mate and one. White blundered it because they were not thinking 2 moves ahead. If you guys have spotted already, congratulations. But the move right here is rook to a1 because this rook right here cuts off all communication for white to move his pieces, and his knight cannot jump right in front, which means that's just checkmate. Right here, this is a really strong move connected, and the best part is the reason why is that white cannot escape with the king because our knight comes in to protect it. So that is just checkmate right there. And what I really like about this position as well is that this right here, there's just a good amount of moves that we can make, and it's not there's not really a motive behind the move for black. The reason being is that they see that I'm threatening checkmate in one, so their idea is to bring the rook over like this, but there's nothing to defend it. If this bishop was like right here, for example, this would be a valid threat. So you have to always be careful. But because the bishop is not protecting it, the queen is not protecting it, it's just checkmate in one. So in this case, it is white to move, and we are looking for a way to attack. This one right here, if you guys do look, there is our rook and our queen that can connect to attack the king. What this does allow is the king to move. Let's see. I don't think the king actually has a valid square. It cannot, so that right there is just checkmate. In this situation, most of the time, this would just be a skewer or just a fork between the two, so there's no way for us to get out. But the good part is we have a check, and he cannot recapture with his bishop, his knight, anything, or his queen. So what that does allow us to do is think 2 moves ahead. So once we give check, there's 2 things that the king can do. He could slide this way or that way. And it doesn't matter which, because as you guys will notice, our queen can come in and connect to deliver checkmate. So in this situation, I really wonder how we got here, because this right here, wherever the king was, say it was right, the queen was right here to deliver check. This is great because you have to have long-term vision with your pieces of what you can do. And the reason why this is primarily so good is that it creates a problem for him in the future. So this right here is cutting off all communication lines with the king. So that is a very strong move for us. And another reason why it's so strong is because our queen can always come in right here to deliver check right there on the king. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing in our queen right there, and then it's going to allow us to bring in our queen right here and deliver checkmate on the go. So right here, you could see that this right here is a check, which forces the king to go to his lonely square. Most players would actually play the move, the queen to d8 right here, which is a blunder because it just sacrifices your queen with no material advantage. But this way, of the move order does allow you to achieve checkmate. So you have to be very careful about that. So in this situation right here, what we notice is that this is attacking this square and defending this square. So we have to think to ourselves, what can we do to make our position a better position right here? And in this situation, a lot of people would think, oh, wow, this is just the best move right here because after he takes, I could just put it right here or in checkmate. It's actually not the case, but what this move does not do for white is it doesn't protect this rook. Do you see how beforehand these 2 rooks right here could take, either one could take and they would be connected? The reason why it's not the best move to be taking with this piece is because it just blocks right there. So in this case, for us, we could just take just like that. So in this situation right here, we can see that our queen has a very good advantage right here, and this right here is not so good for black. So after we put our queen right here, this right here is a great thing for us right there. So what we're gonna do is just bring in our queen to deliver checkmate, just like that. And what we're gonna see right here is that this square is currently occupied not going to be able to be occupied. And we see that both our queen and the rook both attack this d8 square, and both of them can create a nasty problem for him. Another thing that we could see is that this square right here is being attacked by two of our pieces right here. So what we want to do is attack just like that. And right here we can see a couple different things. We can see our queen attacks this piece and this piece, and nothing is defending the rook on the a1 square. So that should always look the most tempting to anyone that is playing right there. And then what we could see is we could evaluate how many pieces we'll have left after. So if I take right here, I'll have one rook, two rooks, and then they'll have one rook and three pieces and this. So what we could say after we take right here, once the king is taking, what can our rook do that would pin it to the king? We always want to be thinking a couple moves ahead of how we can develop our pieces. And this is a very interesting puzzle that I want you guys to be looking at. And the reason for it is because the queen is a very great piece to deliver checkmate with. And if there's queens on the board, it is very easy to blunder checkmate. What I mean by that is you can see that this rook right here is trying to attack, and it's a good thought behind it. But what it fails to yield is that this right here is just mate in one, because there's nothing that the opponent can do in that situation. And right here, this is also a great learning experience for the opponent. And the reason for that is that this pawn right here is just a great pushing move for us. And so what I want you guys to see right there is just how you guys can develop right there. And so in this situation, there is a couple different moves that we could be making right here. The move that I want you guys to be seeing right here is potentially, you could either push right here, or you could have your rook right here. There is a couple different variations that you guys could be choosing, but what I want you guys to notice is that this move right here is a great move, because the reason for it is it attacks the rook and the king, and it does allow for promotion on the next move. So right here, that is what you guys should ultimately be seeing. And then right here, we could see that our queen does connect with the pawn right here on this e3 square, and we have two pieces now that can connect and take right there. Wasn't the actual one, but it is a good thought, and it is a good threat. So right here, we can see that this knight is being threatened to be taken, and we can see that there is also a good check right here. And what we want to notice is that this bishop is also a very nasty threat on the king. So what we want to see is how we can use that to our advantage. So if we were to take right here and do a move calculation, we can check right here, and if he moves over, this can just slide over for checkmate. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So right here, we could see that this right here can defend. If we were to move out of the way, it would destroy our whole plan, and it wouldn't work. So what we want to do is we want to move this right here and take the queen, take the bishop, and that is a wrap for that game. So a couple different things that we notice about this is that this is pinned right there. So this pin means the pawn cannot move or take, which does mean that for us, we could do a couple of things. We could also see that this bishop can attack both things right here. And the reason why we can't move our bishop right here, our queen right here, is because of the bishop. So a good move that I'm thinking right here is the rook moving over to f8. The reason for that, it does attack multiple squares. It is not actually the move, The real move would probably be, let's see. The real move would actually be moving the, let's think about this. What would the real move be? Oh, it's just taking the queen. That is my mistake. Yeah, so if you guys did learn something new from this video, please make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment what you guys would like to learn next, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys for watching.